many of you were taught to follow your dreams as a child? Well, I, like all of you, was taught continuously throughout my childhood to do the same thing. When I hit my know-it-all teen phase, I began to think that the phrase and the terms, follow your dreams, chase your heart, were extremely cliche. It wasn't until after graduating that I actually began to realize the significance of them and how important it was to chase your dreams and find your passion in life. In my personality as a child, I was always extremely quiet and extremely shy. That made me fear that I wouldn't be able to follow my dreams because I was too scared of what people thought and their opinions about me. I didn't think I'd be able to face my fears and leave my comfort zone. Now, my first object is a little bit large. It's a wakeboard. Well, wakeboards go hand in hand with boats. And since a boat's too big to fit in my room, this is going to have to work. Now, my parents grew up on boats. So naturally, as soon as I was old enough to be put on a boat, they took me out. And I loved the scenery. I loved the mellowness of the water. But I hated the out-of-control fear that I got flying across the water in my dad's speedboat. I didn't like the lack of control I have. Now, while I was totally terrified of that feeling, my parents never let me back out. They never let me turn away from that fear. Eventually I realized that that fear was really just adrenaline, and I became addicted to it, in a sense. I loved chasing that adrenaline. In fact, I still do today. So for me, the wakeboard and the boat represent bravery and facing my fears, because now I will try anything more than once because I know that I can overcome it and face it. Plus, I love adrenaline. A lot of people get adrenaline from playing and competing in sports, but when you're as coordinated as I am, that doesn't really happen. It eliminates a lot of sports options for you. Eventually, I decided to combine my love of animals, my love of sports, and decided to ride horses. Now, this is actually one of my horse ribbons. My grandma, who had horses, took my love from animals and narrowed it down to riding and horses in general. I rode for 6, maybe 7 years. My love for animals grew, as well as my compassion and respect for life, animals, and people in general. Not just my parents anymore. I thought riding would be easy. It's actually extremely difficult to control something with a temperament of its own, 100 pounds heavier with you, without being thrown, especially when you're as little as I was. After a few years, I began to show, and it only got more difficult, but I loved working forward to something. I loved the accomplished feeling I get after I got one of these. After riding and showing for so long, I still had the compassion for animals and the respect, and that now reflects on my human relationships that I have with friends, family, jobs, coworkers, etc. For me, the ribbon represents hard work and the dedication that I put into it. The dedication that I put into working for my passion and continuing with it as much as I loved it. My final object is a lake. Now, for a lot of people, this represents Hawaii, which is exactly what it means to me. And my grandma not only got me into horses, but she got me into another passion as well. I spent a lot of time with her in Hawaii, probably 7 years or so as a child. Each summer, somehow she found a new way to take me to a new place I'd never seen before. And it blew my mind every time because it was Long Island. I thought I would have seen it all. As I grew up, I started Googling and looking at places online and using internet and books and libraries. And I fell in love with the places and the cultures I saw. I realized that I wanted to see the world and all the cultures in it, not just experience it through pictures. My dream now is after I graduate is to travel and to experience as much of it as I can before it's too late, before I miss the opportunity. For me, life is just one grand big adventure, and it's just all tied together. I believe being daring and brave will help me to not miss on opportunities, and it'll help me to take chances that other people might be too scared to do. Working hard, I've seen that I'll reach all my goals, and I can still continue and fight for my passion in life, traveling and horses, whatever else it may continue to be. I want to follow my dreams. I want to feel my passions. I want to reach for them. One day I want to be the grandparent that looks back on life. I want to remember all the epic adventures I had, all the beautiful sights that I will see. I want to encourage younger generations, my grandkids, my kids eventually, to follow their dreams as well, even if it's not easy. Regret is far worse for me than it would be to working hard and getting what you want. And looking back on my life one day, I don't want to see regret. I want to know that I chased my dreams and that I accomplished them all. And one day, I will do just that.